In this lesson, we're going to learn how we can create security roles for your data model. What we're going to be doing is using the example of a sales manager. We first want to understand what kind of access a user can have to the application, whether it's EMDA or ZAP, and then understand how we can give the right permissions for the sales manager to ensure that they only have access to certain elements of the data model. So two different things that we'll show. And what you'll see is a live session.
All right, so for this particular session, we're going to focus on how do we administer security for particular users when they want to use the application. So there's two elements of security in our application. There is what security level does a user have, i.e., are they administrator, report writer, etc. And let's quickly have a look at that. On the top right hand corner, we've got a cog. Let's click onto the cog, and I've got someone here demonstrating for me. And from here, what we're going to do, Trevor, is click onto the roles. And the roles essentially show me all the different types of roles available within EMDA or ZAP. And on the right hand side, it shows me all the permissions that particular level has. So if you click on analyst, you'll see what they have, etc., etc. So analyst on the left hand side, boom, and you can see, and you can change those around, or you can add new type of roles as well. So now we know what the level of a person is. Let's save that or close it down. And the next part is understanding what that role or what that user has in regards to access to the data model that we've just created. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the roles section, and we've got two roles there. We've got all the application users that has just been created as a default, and then we've got all the dynamic users that are within my X3 database. Now there isn't any X3 users that I've got on here, but we're just showing that we're able to pull that through. So in this case, we're going to add a specific user, and this user, which will be someone like, let's say, in America, will only be able to have access to one American company. So that's the scenario. So you've added new. So let's put the new role. So on where it says new role at the top, you're going to rename that, and we're going to do a security profile for the US sales manager. Yep. Now from here, we're going to go down to the bottom where it says role members, and we're going to select who that member is. So you're going to click onto all groups, and then click onto all users. You can do, because we're connected to Active Directory, if you've got groups, you can select the group, or if it's specific users, you can select users. In this case, we're going to use a user. So on the right hand side, where it says enter group or name, you can type in Jeff for me. So it hasn't come up, so let's just remove that. And on the right hand side, let's go to add and see if we can find him. There we are. So there's Jeff. Let's select Jeff. So from here, if you've got a group, on the bottom where it says users with access, you can simply click on the refresh button on the right hand side to see who are the members within that group. But we've only selected a user, so it would be a little bit nonsensical to do that. So now we've completed that, we're going to hit permissions. So on permissions, this sales manager, I only want him or her to have access to the sales modules. So let's go into modules and click onto sales for me, please. Just above, the slide above. A little bit higher. There we are. Just type in sales for me there. Perfect. And then on the bottom there, where it says pipeline, let's go to type pipeline to add. And let's say, look, these modules are great, but I want the user to have access to other tables. So I want him to have access to the customer table. So while I'm saying it, just type it in for me and then add it in there. So for me, I want the customer table, just like I'm a customer to you, Trevor, and you're adding it while I'm talking. So company table. I also want them to have access to the date table. I want them to be able to do fiscal and also calendar reporting. I even want them to have access to the site table, maybe even to the product table, and so on and so forth. So once we've got that, they've got access to all of those tables, including all the tables within sales. So if you hover over modules and then sales, just hover over there, you'll see all the pipelines, all the tables that he has access to now, is including the additional tables that you've created for it. However, we haven't solved the initial scenario that we need to solve. And that scenario is that Jeff, i.e. the US sales manager, will only have access to one company, not all of them. We cannot allow him to have the ability to share other companies. So how do we do that? So we're going to go down right to the bottom where it says limit data. And you're going to type in company. So click on there and type in company. Perfect. So from here, now it says drag members here to restrict access. So how do I drag the members? I simply go to the top left-hand corner and open my Resource Explorer. And then I'm going to go down and now I see my dimensions. So I'm going to go to my company dimension. And I'm going to go down to a granular level. You can also do it as a set. But in this case, we'll go down to a granular level. And open that up. And then can you select, say, NA discrete 10 and drag and drop that as a drag member here to restrict access. Perfect. So now, if you close the Resource Explorer on the left-hand side, you have completed a profile for Jeff, who has access to all those modules and only have access to that particular company.
Too easy.
So let's save that. And now that becomes a profile within my model. So you can close that down. What we can also do is go to application users just to make sure that Jeff's not in there. So let's go down and click onto application users. So Jeff is there. So what we're going to do is go to users with access to model right on the top there. Select that for me. Right click and remove. And then we're just going to add yourself on there. So Trevor. Can't find you, so that's fine. Let's just remove that and remove that away and just see if you're in within the directory. You are, so let's go to the bottom there.
Good.
Cool. And just refresh that just so we can see how that looks. Perfect. Let's just save and close for me just for now. And what we'll do is that we're going to republish the whole model again. So let's go to the model, process model, sorry, on the right hand side. And then from here, you're going to hit process. All right. All right. So now we've processed that. What we're going to focus on is looking at the dashboard as Trevor. So Trevor, if you want to go and open the VP Sales dashboard for me. And then from there, what we're going to see, if you click onto the company, is that you've got access to all the companies that you bought through. So what we care about is understanding that what does Jeff get to see when it comes to these companies? Because we only isolated one company for him, right? So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to change the user into yourself to Jeff, just so we can do a test. Let's click on settings, and then from there, go to run as. Click on Jeff, and then run as. Now from here, let's close that settings tab down. And now, as you can see on the top right-hand corner, you see Trevor as Jeff. So you are running that user for yourself, as yourself type of thing. So you're running this application as if you were Jeff. So we're going to
So as a proxy.
yeah, as a proxy type of thing. So let's click onto the refresh button to refresh this dashboard. And let's click onto the slices for company. And now you can see that you will only have access to NA10.
Cool.